Okay, so here we go. This is our welcome video to our MAT 206, our Elements of Stats course for spring semester 2026. Welcome. This is the syllabus for the course. I'm just going to kind of go through the syllabus real quick, talk about the important parts, and then we'll take a look at both the online system, that is the Canvas shell for the course, as well as the homework system. Okay. All right, so my name is Brian Karasik. I'll be your instructor. Please feel free just to call me Brian. That's fine if you need to communicate with me. I've got an email address and a phone number here. These are the ways that you can contact me. I have two different ways to contact me because there's kind of like two different types of communication. The email address, we should think of that as our official. So if there's something that needs like official communication, well, that is a weird looking official. Let's try that again. OFFICIAL. There we go. Like if you needed to drop the course, or if you had an issue with deadlines or something like that, official communication about grades or important stuff like that, send me an email. Right? That's the best way to do that. And it must come from your MEID at maricopa.edu email address. Coming from that email address verifies that it's actually you, and we can have those sorts of important conversations. There is a text option here with my cell phone number. You can text me there. And you should think of that as for more informal communication. Like if you're working on the homework and you're stuck on problem number 5, you could snap a photo of the picture of the problem you're working on, send me a text, say, hey, I'm really stuck on this problem. Can you help me out with it? Right. So the two different types of communication, two different ways to communicate. This rest of this information is about kind of like where I am, when I am, how I am. So I do have an office on the main campus. I'm a full-time instructor there. It's in the math building. It's MA 176. And I am there on Mondays from 4 to 5 in the evenings. I'm also there on Wednesdays from, not on Wednesdays. Sorry. I'm still learning my schedule because it's different this semester. On Tuesdays, I'm there from 1:30 to 2:30. And I'm also there on Thursdays from 1:30 to 2:30. On Wednesdays, I'm at North Campus. So if you need to see me, I'm up there because I split my schedule between Mondays and Wednesdays. Monday, Wednesdays at North Campus, Tuesday, Thursday at main campus. On Fridays, there are no classes, so we don't have scheduled office hours, but I can meet by appointment if you really needed to. You could just email me and we could figure out a time that would work. Okay. All right. So let's see. This is course information. It begins on the 17th technically and ends on the 15th. Online course, 3 credit hours. Right. In this course, we're going to take a look at the idea of some basic concepts and applications of statistics. This is not a course that is designed to be a course for statistics majors. It is a course for people who are going into a field of study where you might be a consumer of statistics. You might use statistics, and in that sense, understanding some basic applications and basic concepts is what our job here is. Okay. The competencies for the course, we're required to put these in here, but these really shouldn't mean anything to you yet because this is what we are going to do this semester. At the end of the semester, you should be able to look back on this and say, okay, I remember, I know what that is. I know the difference between descriptive and inferential statistics, or I can determine the mean, median, mode, and standard deviation of a data set, or that sort of thing, right? Instructional contact hours. Now, this is a tough one. This is an online course, and while it's only a 3 credit hour course, since you are kind of doing all the work yourself, it may or may not be a lot of work. And also, because this is a late start course, we're actually starting in the 5th week. So we lost 4 weeks. So a normal semester is 16. We lost 4, and we lose another one because of spring break. So we're down to 11 weeks. So we are doing in 11 weeks what most people do in 16 weeks. So we lose a month essentially of class time, which means that this course is going to be fast paced. We'll look at the schedule a little bit later, but essentially we're going to be doing a chapter a week in this course. Okay? The text that we'll kind of be working out of is this Elementary Statistics course by this guy named Triola, Mario Triola. It's the 5th edition, but do not purchase the text, okay? You will have access to a PDF of the text through the homework system. So don't buy the book. You don't need the book. Please don't do that. What you will have to purchase, unfortunately, is access through MyMathLab. Given that this is an online course, especially because it's an online course, really need to make sure that we have some sort of a solid system to work out of. And unfortunately, it is a paid system, right? So you will have to pay that. Also, the entire course is taught with the expectation that you will have access to a graphing calculator for this course, right? I will be demonstrating things on a TI-83, 84 kind of system. In fact, let me just bring it up real quick, make sure it works so you can see. So when I'm working, when I'm lecturing and making videos, there it is, it popped up. When I'm lecturing and making videos, I'll have this calculator up kind of on the side of the screen over here alongside the video, and I'll be using that to demonstrate. Right? You absolutely need one, right? You can lease one for the semester from the math department. I want to say that it's a $20 fee to lease for the semester from the math department, or if you have a friend who has one, you can borrow one. If you don't have one, please don't just buy one just for this course, because they're like $100, and that's a lot of money. Make it to the math department, rent one for $20. That's all you need, right? Don't buy one for this course. Right? But you will need it for the homework, you will need it for the exams, you will need it, you will need it, will need it. Absolutely will be using it. It is a game changer. Essentially, it's going to take problems that would be 20, 30, 40-minute problems and turn them into 2, 3, 4-minute problems, because we won't be doing all the calculations by hand. We'll let the calculator do the heavy lifting for us. So please get a hold of one of those. The sooner, the better, okay? Because we're going to hit the ground running. Again, a chapter a week, so you won't have time to get behind. Okay? Sometimes we'll be using Desmos too, because I love Desmos as a way to show things. Desmos accounts are free. So if you do not have a Desmos account, and again, I'll open up a web page and show you what it looks like, you can go there and get one. So you would go to desmos.com. Now currently I'm not signed in, but you would click on this login right here if you're already logged in, or click on the sign up right here to create an account. It's super simple, and it's free. Okay, I'm going to log in because there we go. Yeah, I'm going to get logged in, and then when you logged in, it allows you to save things that you've made. And so some of the stuff that we're going to be doing, I've already made pages, and I'll be referencing those or using those to create examples for some videos. Right? It's, like I said, it's free, so definitely worth getting a Desmos account set up. Okay? Attendance? Well, how does attendance work in an online class? Because how do you measure attendance? We don't have any regularly scheduled classes, so I don't take attendance. So what has been decided is that attendance is measured by your interaction with the course. So as long as you're active in the course, that means you're checking in on Canvas, because every time you open up Canvas, it timestamps it and says this person was here. As long as you're going in and doing the homework in MyMathLab, and again, as you go in, it's timestamping and saying it's here, then you're doing fine. No worries, don't have to worry about anything. You are considered active in the course. To meet federal guidelines, these are not my policies, these are not Glendale's policies, these are federal guidelines of attendance. You need to be active in the course weekly. That means that I need to be able to go in and document that at least every 7 days you're doing something. So what's going to happen is I'm going to keep an eye on things, and once you've disappeared for 4 or 5 days straight, I'm going to send you an email and say, hey, get back in there and do something so I can ensure that you're active in the course. As soon as you hit the 8th day, my administration has asked me to withdraw students who are inactive. Okay? So please, let's avoid that situation at all costs. Go in regularly, do work. It's not a problem then, as long as you're actively engaged in the course. Right? There will be 5, in terms of grading and whatnot, there'll be 5 section exams. Those 5 section exams will be scheduled throughout the semester. They'll show up in the Canvas. Again, we'll go there later and look at them. They are delivered online, which means you will take them from home, right? So once we have finished the material for the exam will be live. You'll take the exam, right? You will have unlimited attempts on each of these section exams. So you take the exam. If you didn't like the score you got, you take it again. You didn't like the score you got, you take it again. The requirement, though, is you must score at least a minimum of 70 on each of these section exams to move forward in the course, right? If you fail to meet that 70% on any of these chapter section exams, you will be withdrawn from the course, right? These exams do have a due date, so please do not wait until that last minute to take the exam, because if you wait and you don't hit the 70 and you run out of time, I'll be forced to withdraw you from the course. Okay, so I'm going to go over that again. There's going to be 5 of these things. Okay, here are the 5th is down there because this tool that they make us use to create the syllabus does not allow me to control page breaks. So that's why a page broke across this, right? The section exams are going to be chapter 1 and 2, 3 and 4, 6 and 7, 8 and 9, 10 and 11, right? So you'll see that we jump through exams. There is not one for chapter 5. Okay, that is by design because chapter 5 is right before the midterm. So there will not be a chapter exam, there will be a midterm exam then. So if you're wondering what happened to 5, yes, there is a chapter 5. No, there isn't a section exam on it. Yes, it is important. It will be on the midterm, right? All right, so 70% on each of those. If you don't meet the 70%, you'll be withdrawn from the course, okay? You get unlimited attempts, So there's no reason not to hit 70. Take the exam, review what you got wrong, figure out why it was wrong, take it again, okay? My suggestion to you is, in the exam window, when it's open, and it'll probably be open for like 4 or 5 days, take it early. That way you have a chance to review, hit up what you need to hit up to review more, and be ready for the exam a second time, okay? Most students in the past in this format rarely need to take the exam a second time. Pretty straightforward. If you've been doing the homework, you'll be okay with them. Okay. The midterm and the final exam. The midterm and the final exam will be in person and proctored. Unfortunately, you will have to come to the testing center on the main campus to do this. Okay. You will have to schedule your exam through their system. They use this system called, what is it? Register Blast. Probably about the dumbest name I've ever heard, but it's the system that they use. Okay. There will be a link in Canvas. I'll show you again when we go there to take a look at it. Okay. These are the only proctored assessments for the entire course, and so you'll have to score a 65 or better on these. You will be allowed only 2 attempts. So you'll take the exam, the midterm. If you don't get the 65, you'll take it again. Right? Same thing for the final. You'll take the final. If you don't get the 65, you'll take it again. Right? If you do not receive that 65 or better on the exam, unfortunately, I will have to withdraw you from the course. The midterm will cover material from the first half of the chapter. Now, I have it written 1 through 6, but that's actually a typo. I'm sorry about that. That should say 1 through 5. And then the second part will be 6 through 11. Right? 1 through 5 and 6 through 11. Okay? Please don't ask to take it early or late. Okay? It is a massive hassle to do that. It's not a good idea. It messes with test security and all those sorts of things. Okay? All right. Absolutely no arrangements after the fact. If you missed the exam and made no arrangements, then I'm sorry, you'll get a 0 on it. You'll be withdrawn from the course. Homework. There will be homework. Homework is assigned, completed, and submitted, graded all online in MyMathLab. The assignments correlate with the sections of the text. So there'll be a chapter 1, a chapter 2, a chapter 3, and so on and so forth. Doing the homework is essential to learning the materials. So you think of the homework as practice for the exams, because the exams and the homework will look very, very similar. Okay? It's not a huge portion of your grade. It's only 10%. But it's enough that you should do it, but not so much that if you miss any homework here or there because you're busy, it'll tank your grade. Okay? 10% for the section exams, 10% for the final exams, the midterm and the final each. I'm sorry, the homework is 10%, the midterm and the final each worth 40%. So if you take the 40% for the midterm, the 40% for the final, the 10% for the homework, and the 10% for the sections exam, add them all up, you get that 100% for the semester. Okay? As far as assigning letter grades, it's a standard 90, 80, 70, 60 grading scale. Nothing special there. Right? All right. Now we're getting into the parts of the syllabus where it's sort of like, why is this here? Well, some of it's legal requirements, and some of it is past experience requires that this get put in. Right? Some basic technology is expected, especially since you're taking an online course. Chrome seems to be the best browser for accessing course material and taking exams and whatnot. Some students have success with Firefox. If you're an Apple person and you want to use Apple's browser, I'm not a huge fan, but I know that it does work. Right? It is the one, though, where if something decides not to work, it's the hardest to figure out why. Right? You'll need to make sure that you use your working email address. And what we mean by your working email address is the one that says at maricopa.edu, right? That's the email address that you have to work with. It's the one that is linked to your Canvas account. Please use that one to link to the MyMathLab as well. That way, if you send me a question or an email directly from MyMathLab, the homework system, it'll also be your at Maricopa, and we can work with that. Okay. Student rights and responsibilities. This is a legal part of this. This is the, hey, you should know these things section of the syllabus. So if you don't know what your rights and responsibilities are, you can peruse them there. Okay. Academic integrity. This is an issue, especially with online coursework. You should be doing your own work. You should be producing your own original work. I would ask that you keep course materials confidential. Please don't take screenshots of the test and post it to Chegg and that kind of thing. I ask that you do that. Of course, I can't force you to do that, but I ask that you do. Plagiarism is a bad thing. We don't have a lot of this necessarily in math because we don't really write papers, but having someone else do your math for you technically is plagiarism in a sense, so please don't do that. Right? AI, it's out there. It is a huge positive thing and also a huge scary negative thing, so be careful with it. There are ways that you can use AI as a positive thing, as a study guide. You can like take a screenshot of a problem that you're struggling with and it can help you solve it, and that's great. You can take a screenshot of a problem and say, hey, can you generate me 4 more like this so I can practice my studying or practice my skills? It can do that as well. There are good ways to use it, bad ways to use it. Please use it in good ways. Right? If you have some sort of a documented disability for which you need accommodations, please make sure you're talking to the DRS, the Disability Resources and Services Office. Right? I cannot provide you any accommodations until they tell me so. And as of today, the 10th of February, I have received nothing about anyone in this course requiring accommodations. So if you think you have some, as of right now, you don't, because they haven't emailed me to let me know. So if you think you have something, you need to talk to them and get that ball rolling. Right? Title IX, sexual harassment. If you see something, say something. But given that this is an online course, it's highly doubtful that we'd have any sort of issues with that here, because we don't really have student interaction. I don't make you work in groups or anything. So probably won't see it here, but if you did see something, please say something. there's a link here which you can actually hyperlink through on the Canvas page to report it if you needed to. Right? Instructional grievance policy. This is the new one they've asked us to add to our syllabi, and basically it lays out what you should do if you think you've been treated unfairly. Right? So it lists the steps, it lists where in the administrative regulations it is, and it also has a link to the grievance form. Right? All right. Withdrawal policy. Okay, so let's say that something happens, you need to leave this course for whatever reason. Your aunt in Oklahoma gets sick and you got to move there to take care of her, whatever it is. Right? There's the importance of the 45th day. Before the 45th day, so before the 45th day, you can self-withdraw. You can just go in and say, I want to withdraw from the course. You go into your SIS student information system and it withdraws you. After the 45th day, I have to withdraw you from the class. Right? So after the 45th day, if you need to withdraw from the course, you'd send me an email from your Maricopa email address saying, hi, I need to withdraw. I don't need to know why. You don't have to tell me. You can if you want to. I will then send you back a link to a survey because we are attempting to gather data on why students are withdrawing. It will then show, ask you some questions about why you're withdrawing. Fill it out. It'll send me an email saying you filled it out. I'll withdraw you from the course. Okay? I only withdraw with W's, so don't worry about getting a Y or an F. If you ask for a withdrawal, I'll give it to you. Tutoring. Okay, so there is free tutoring on campus, in person and online through, I think it's through Discord and another system. The link here for the schedule. So there's lots that goes on there. Right? All right. Here's our schedule for the semester. This is where we start, right here. Week 1 will be chapter 1, week 2 is chapter 2, and so on and so forth. You'll notice that it's chapter a week essentially. Right? Right here at the end of this is when our first exam. So this would be exam 1. Right after the end of chapter 2, then exam, right after the end of chapter 4, we have our exam 2. Right after chapter 5, we have midterm. After 7, we have exam 3. Here we have exam 4. Here we have exam 5, and then of course our final exam. Okay. All right, looking good so far. Web-based tools, you will be using some web-based tools. Here are links to terms of service, privacy policies, and accessibility statements should you want them. Okay. Given that this is an online course, most of our communication is going to be online. I will do my very best to get back to you quickly. 24 to 48 hours at worst, Monday through Friday. Okay? Weekends, holidays, something like that, spring break, campus closures, as soon as the next business day. I try to have a healthy work-life balance, so I try not to spend a lot of time checking my emails on weekends. I may not, and if I do and get back to you, just consider that a plus. Okay. Student resources. This is a link. Again, the hot links aren't active on this video, but it is a link to resources to support you that are outside of the realm of mathematics. What I mean by that is if you are food insecure or you have housing insecurity issues, those are links to resources on campus that can help students with those things. Okay. Technology help. If you're having issues with tech in some way, you can get some help through the help desk, essentially, the GCC service desk. Everybody calls it the help desk, though. It's over in High Tech 1 if you want to go there. Phone, email, client portal, submit tickets. Okay. Because this is an online course, I am going to be attempting to communicate with you on the regular. This does not mean we're going to be doing discussion boards or anything like that. It just means that I'll be reaching out if I see that there's an issue. If it's been a while since you've done some homework, I might message you. Don't freak out if you get emails from me. It's just part of the process of taking an online course. So somewhat regular check-ins, announcements in Canvas, online office hours if you want to come by. We could do Zoom meetings or in-person meetings and all that. All right. That brings us to the end of the syllabus. All right. So let's pop over and take a look at the course in Canvas. All right. So here's your course. Let me flip over to View as a Student. This is what it'll look like for you. Right? There's basically 2 places, maybe 3 places that you're going to live, and that is the modules, and I'll click on it. The modules has the semester laid out week by week by week. So you'll see here in week 5, that's where we're starting. That's where we do chapter 1. This is the PDF that I will be working out of. So it is literally this right here. So while I'm lecturing and creating videos, I'll be working out of that PDF. And so I'll be annotating this, writing on it, blah, 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 talking about it, doing example problems, writing them out. It'll all be done here. Okay? You have access to that PDF. It's right there. Right? These are the links to the homeworks for chapter 1. So it looks like there's 3 sections in chapter 1, 5 points, 9 points, 10 points. Basically, most homework problems are a point per problem. So it looks like that homework has 5 points. That one has 9 points. That 10 points. So 5 problems, 9 problems, 10 problems. Okay. So not too terribly bad. If you're wondering what this is up here, this is your first assignment, due by February 22nd. That's Sunday. Right? What that is if you go to the Syllabus Plus here, that'll take you back to that syllabus we went through. If you scroll all the way to the bottom and click, I read the syllabus, it'll take care of that syllabus confirmation quiz. Consider that your first assignment, really, that you'll want to do. Okay. All right. The other place you might live is the grades, because the grades are going to be your current grade in the class. It'll show you all of the homeworks you've done, when you turned them in, what score you got on them. Exam scores will show up in here when we start taking our exams. Your midterm will show up in here when we take our midterm, and this will give you your current grade in class. Right now it says NA right over here on the right. This over here is kind of hard to see, but over here on the right, that's where your grade will show up. Okay. You sometimes might go to files. Files are where you could go to download those PDFs as well. So like these guys right here are the chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3, chapter 4, and chapter 5 notes. That's all I've gotten done so far. I still have to do the rest of them. As I get them done, I'll be dumping them in here. Okay. All right, so modules. Let's go down there and take a look. This is section 1.1 homework. When I click on it, it says this assignment is locked till the 14th because that's when it becomes active, right? So on the 14th, that'll open up. There'll be a link there that'll take you to Pearson and allow you to do the homework. All right, so I opened it up through my instructor view so you can see what the homework will look like. So when it comes time and you click on the homework, this is how it's going to look. You'll see that there are 5 questions. You'd open the question. It is going to ask something. Well, as soon as it gets open here, you've got answer possibilities here. Down here on the left, you've got textbook. If you click on that, it'll open up the textbook to this section so you can read about it. Under Get More Help, it will provide help appropriate to the question. So depending on what question is asked, the help here might be more things or fewer things. It just depends on what the question is. It's a fairly straightforward system. I imagine most of you have used it or something like it in the past, but we'll just leave it at that. All right, so back over here. That's basically it for Canvas. There's not a lot in there, right? As I create, I haven't started making the videos yet for the lecture. As I start creating the videos, I will link them in here as well. And there'll be links to a YouTube, there'll be links out of Canvas to YouTube because I'll be posting all the videos on YouTube. Right? I think that's about it for our welcome video. So I'm just gonna close it off there. And I will say, I look forward to having a fast-paced semester, and I hope you guys have a great day. Take care.